Hello, my friend. Have you ever gotten to this point where you lose your temper and you're like, where the heck did that come from once you calm down? And then you maybe got a little embarrassed by it. I mean, I'm only thinking hypothetical. This has never happened to me. It happened yesterday to me. So we're gonna walk through though, what's going on? How do we lower our reactivity? Because the good thing by the way, yesterday was it could have spiraled out of control, but I caught it and was able to regain, apologize to the person I was talking to, and move forward. So, how do we lower reactivity? Number one, notice. Notice that you're losing it. So, that might sound simple, but think about times where you're reactive. You are unaware that you're boiling. Like I've had this happen where I walk in from work, right? I think that I'm fine. I'm done with work. One little thing gets said and I'm like, meltdown, right? This happens to us all the time. Yesterday, it happened to me because I have a point of sales at a business I own, and we had a tech out, and he basically said it was my fault, and it just ticked me off, like, because he wasn't looking at the problem. And instead of rationally human-sizing it and having the conversation, I noticed I started to get really angry. But the next step is equally important. We got to name what it is that's getting us reactive. In that moment, it was that you aren't even looking at my problem. You are accusing me before you know what's going on. And really, when I looked at that, I had to go, no, really underneath there, I felt like he was treating me like I was an idiot. So I noticed, then I named it. Like, that's what was going on. I was thinking he was calling me dumb. And then what we got to do is we got to give those things to God. We got to name them as specifically as possible. The moment I knew, hey, I feel like this guy's calling me dumb. He wasn't, by the way. He was just an IT guy, and if you're an IT guy, I love you, but you probably struggle with people. he wasn't a people person. Like, he didn't know how he was coming across. And the moment I was able to step back from that and go, okay, this isn't a skill set of his, and I'm feeling like he's saying I'm dumb, and it's okay if he thinks I'm dumb, I calmed down. And then I was able to talk. And I was like, hey, I get that. I get what you're saying. But this happened Friday. Could that be in something else? It was. I was right, by the way. It makes me feel so much better. Okay, third step, diffuse. So you might be in this stage. Like in that moment, it's not a close loved one. It's someone that I was able to notice and name and move on. But there are other points in my life, specifically with the people I'm closest to. And I don't know why that is with us humans that way, but it is. Like, I can handle other people thinking I'm an idiot. But when I feel like my wife thinks that of me, you would never think that, my dear. But when I get in that point, I have a harder time settling down because I care more about what she thinks than anyone else in the world. Or my kids making me reactive, or my parents, right? Those close relationships. Sometimes we need a little more to diffuse. And here's how you do it. It's actually a lot of fun. You do an activity you actually like to do. For you, that might be harder, but think through it when you're calm. Like, what fills me up? Like, what are things I do that afterwards I'm like, recharged and ready to go? Fishing, nature, that is something for me that really energizes me, unless I'm doing something wrong and it just frustrates me. What is it for you? What are people that energize you, that fill you up? I have a couple guys in my life. Tuesday mornings we meet and we share life. I always leave that meeting feeling a little more solid about life. Those people fill me up. What are places that energize you? I bought this home to be kind of in the woods, to be in nature, because nature energizes me. So those are ways in which you can diffuse and lower your reactivity. If you're in this season of weariness, like, you don't need to wait till you're reactive to do those things, right? That lowers our reactivity right there. Like, weekly, I meet with those guys Tuesday morning. It helps. I walk with my wife regardless of what's going on in the evening, because again, it lowers it, and you'll become more reactive the more you do things you actually enjoy. Win-win, right? Okay, so here's the next layer underneath there. I was able to come with that IT tech working on my point of sale system. I was able to come to the conclusions of what was bothering me because I had done the deep work in other points of time when it was quiet and I wasn't reactive. So when you find yourself reactive, you have to have a reflective space to go, what was it about that made me reactive? Because here's the thing. You, my friend, cannot outrun yourself. You will always run into yourself over and over and over again. I know this because that's true for me. Like, I care about looking somewhat intelligent to others. Like, that's a trigger for me when I think I look stupid. It's a trigger for me that I want people to like me. Those are triggers. I know those because of the deep work. So afterwards, look, what caused me to be reactive? And here's a couple clues that might help. You might look for a values violation, like someone did something against your values. I highly value being on time, for example. It's a big one for me. My wife does not. Sunday mornings can be fun. Sarcasm intended, because it's a values violation, and I've had to learn to be okay with being late, right? So look at a values violation. The other one, past hurts. Sometimes people have wronged us in the past, and we can get reactive because of that. Sometimes it's because of same species, where they look, talk, or act like someone in the past that hurt us. Sometimes it's just past hurts. Like, in my family, needing to know the answer, like a leader knows what they're doing. And there has been hurts in my life when it was like, hey, you should have prepared for this. You should have known better, right? Where someone has taught me in that regard, looked down upon me for that. So that's why I got triggered yesterday. It was a past hurt. And then the last one, false needs. And we all have these to a certain extent, but you probably have one that's going to go like lights flashing on these false needs. So control. Do you always need to be in control? Perfection. Does it need to be perfect no matter what? Like, you're striving for this perfect reaction. 3, like, do you need to be there for others? Being there for others is a good thing. But like, do you have to be there or you go crazy? Needing to know the answer. Like, you always need to know what's going on. And you always need to have the right answer. And if you don't, it triggers you. Or my personal favorite, needing to be liked. Sometimes this can overwhelm me to where I become reactive because someone's not pleased with what I'm doing. And so then I go, boom, and I get angry because everyone needs to be, I need to be liked by everyone. False. It's a false need. So I hope that helped you to like drill down underneath, below the surface, because that's where the gold is on lowering reactivity. So I love you. I pray that you'd be blessed today, and honestly that you would bring these things before God, because it's only Him that can change us. And sometimes we try to fix these things on our own, but it's our job to notice it, to name it, to do actions that diffuse it, to look inward and see what's going on in there so that we can give those things to God and He can do the work. Have a great day, and God bless you in your journey.